This is Johnny Phillips with the Junior Achievement of New Jersey, where we prepare students to succeed in the global economy.
Good morning, Johnny. So I am Samantha Klein Rowland. I'm a financial solutions advisor working with Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. I've been with the company now for going on 6 years. I've been in the financial industry for about 9 years. So definitely it's a privilege to be here and just looking forward to this session.
Definitely. Samantha, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit and record this quick fireside chat with me. Share some insight for our young people. And you mentioned, right, a nice long career in the finance industry. So would you mind explaining your job story, meaning any jobs you've had in the past and how that maybe led to your, long career, but also your position now with Bank of America?
Certainly. So aside from working with Bank of America, I honestly started in JP Morgan Chase. I was a relationship banker when I first got started, eventually transitioned to the business side, was a business banker for a little while. But to be frank, I didn't start with interest of finance. I was attending college while working at JP Morgan, and I developed this passion to be in the finance industry. Ultimately, I started the banking career to really just finance my education. So
Mm.
that's really how I got involved. But because I had a passion for forensic psychology is what I was studying, I still took a little bit of time to get to know that avenue. And it's still a part of what I do today just for volunteer purposes. But now I'm really grateful to be a part of the financial arena. And it's been a really great journey, truly.
Nice. So you mentioned, financing your education. So you're working and in school at the same time, which takes
Yeah.
some dedication and hard work.
Oh,
And
sure.
and I'm interested in hearing if there's a connection, right? Your interest in forensic psychology. I was a
Yeah.
psychology major, and there's a lot of people out there that have a deep interest in psychology and can use it. How you might have leveraged your understanding of psychology in the banking or finance world.
So that's always been one of the interview questions I experienced whenever I went through different roles. And the great thing for psychology, it's a part of everybody. My initial interest in psychology was quite frankly because I came from a divorced background. My parents separated, and psychology was my saving grace. So that was
Mm.
my primary reason for being interested in learning forensic psychology. And those were transferable skills that I kept to connect with people. Everything that I do with the career I have now is all about connection and human interaction. So ironically, even though it's finance I focus on, and at this point investments, before I even get into a financial conversation, I always want to connect with the person. And psychology helps bring that out of people and just really develop a strong sense of trust with people.
Mm. I like the idea of developing trust, right? You can't really talk
Yeah.
about something as serious as finance without having a trusting relationship or having an understanding of who this person is and why we're having this conversation. But I also liked that you mentioned using your own personal experience to develop your interests, right? And reflecting on your past and saying, you know what, I think I want to go ahead and study this and take forward and move forward with this subject. Thank you for sharing that. That's very useful and very powerful and able to and use that.
Thank you. Thank you. It definitely was.
And then in terms of the transferable skills that you mentioned, can you touch on what some of those skills are and maybe different ways that you were able to develop them?
For sure. Aside from the professional path I've had, my first job was actually part of summer youth when I got it through high school. My counselor encouraged me to join the summer youth program. I honestly didn't want to. I just wanted to be in school, have fun with my friends. But that particular program really began the onset of the skills I have today. Part of that, I learned to be on time was really important with the person that I had to work under, in addition to getting out of my comfort zone. So the fact that I had to hone responsibility and accountability during summer youth really changed my perception of what professionalism looked like.
Mm.
And from that, I was just able to carry it on into the career path I have today. So something that we always say at Bank of America and Merrill Lynch is show up. Don't just come in and, do your job, but really show up. Be professional in the way you carry yourself, in the way you talk. Be a leader. It doesn't necessarily have to mean you're a part of management, but you can just be a leader by interacting with your colleagues, sharing stories that encourage each other, being a team player, and all those things I learned from joining Summer Youth and then continuing on moving forward.
Mm. Showing up and being consistent in who you are and how you present yourself, right? It goes a long way. Um, we talk about the idea of first impressions and what people remember of you, and how long that takes to maybe change somebody's first impression of who you are. So,
Oh,
thank you
yeah.
for sharing, right? Being able to show up and show out for yourself goes a long way, and by leading by example. And
Exactly.
thank you for bringing up your job around summer youth, and I kind of want to go back to that a little bit, and ask if you can go back to that period of time. And you seem like you're very responsible at the time, and you took that responsibility with some
Yeah.
ownership. But if you can go back to that time and give your younger self some advice, what do you think you would say to yourself?
So there's definitely two things that stand out for me. I was always generally a shy person, and I would certainly encourage my younger self, not necessarily not to be shy, but just don't be afraid to speak up and have your voice be heard. So I would
Mm,
certainly encourage my younger self to always use my voice. It's one of the most powerful weapons that we have. You can add so much by just speaking up on what you believe in. So I definitely think that's an empowering part to do. And then I would also encourage myself to not necessarily be selfish, but not to feel bad in focusing on yourself first. Always be
mm,
compassionate, always be a team player, but oftentimes I would make certain sacrifices prior to really focusing on Samantha. So it's definitely not a bad thing to be selfish. Focus on your dreams, focus on certain opportunities that you want to take. If it's there, go ahead, take it. Don't be afraid, and just continue with the passions that you have.
that's some really good advice once again, right? Putting yourself first, but being willing to step out of your comfort zone and knowing where
Yeah,
your comfort zone is and where it lies, and the parameters you set for yourself. That's really important. A lot of times people feel like they have to do so much for other people to get some back. If you
yeah,
focus on yourself for some time, things might come to you in the long run.
exactly, exactly.
Thank you for sharing that. And to end off, is there any other resources or additional pieces of advice or tips, mentoring tips that you would want to share with young people who are looking to get involved in the same line of work as you, or just trying to figure out their path on a daily basis? Anything else that you can offer?
Oh, absolutely. So the awesome thing, and one of the reasons I joined Bank of America and Merrill Lynch, they're very powerful about diversity, and that really connected with me. So we have a lot of different avenues that you can get involved with Bank of America, which is the retail banking side, or even Merrill Lynch, which is the investment side. So we have a great online resource called Campus bankofamerica.com. And that's where you can get all the different programs that we offer, whether it's career fairs that we have at different colleges, or it's a matter of joining summer internships. There's just a whole variety of programs. And once you go to campus.bankofamerica.com, then you're able to see the different options you have. The different events are listed there on the menu, and you can join finance that way. The other thing I would certainly encourage is stay connected with your counselors too. Whether it's high school, it's college, your counselors are a really great source of support because they can certainly guide you and tell you what options are available for you. And honestly, even if you start with, say, liberal arts and not sure if you want to do finance, they can give you a different option in terms of just learning what you want and then taking it from there.
Hmm. So using the resources we have with technology and just visiting websites and job fairs that could potentially give you an opportunity. So you said it's campus
Dot
at Dot Bank of America.
.com.
Okay, campus.bankofamerica.com.
Yes.
It's definitely a resource that we will promote. And then the idea of using your counselors and mentors, people who want to see you do well, right? Ask them questions.
Exactly.
Try to seek help and find guidance that way. That's really invaluable advice and resources that I think a lot of people now, especially in the virtual space, we kind of have to put ourselves out there a little bit more. So
Yeah.
Samantha, I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to shoot this fireside chat with me. We say your time is one of the most valuable things you can give. So from Junior Achievement, we really do appreciate you, and we look forward to working with you in the future. And happy holidays.
Same to you all. Stay safe. As you can see, my mask is one way I do, and it was certainly a privilege again.
Yeah.